This is a Swift Celebration 530, just going to take you around the van, show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site and how to hook up to the car. In the front locker you have two gas bottle tie downs. On the bulkhead itself you have your gas regulator, which has a changeover valve on it, so you can actually have two gas pipes connected at the same time to two separate bottles. And then you can actually change the valve over when one bottle is empty, as you can see here. So you point the arrow and the green marking to the bottle you want to use and turn that particular bottle on. Then it'll go green at the top here when you have gas flow going through the caravan. On the side of the caravan, on either side of the front, you have your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. They are just there for stabilising, not lifting the caravan. If you lifted the caravan with these, it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. So like I said, it just put them down to the ground so they touch the ground. So small amount of pressure, but not so it's lifting off the ground. Then above that you have your Audi heating and hot water flue. This works very much the same as your flue on the side of your house at home, no difference at all. Essentially when you're in the gas systems on board the van, you'll be able to ignite the gas systems inside the van and it will breathe to the outside. You've then got your water pump connection. Water pump connection is very simple to use. Blue trigger. Pull it back to release by pulling back the blue trigger and pulling the pump back, and then push it in and lock the latch in place at the bottom so it locks the pump in place. The pickup pipe itself will drop down inside the aqua roll, so then you can fill the water system up from the inside of the van. Two battery connections, very simple to use. They'll connect to the top of the battery, and the battery, if you wanted to buy a new battery, you can buy one from us here for a charge of £75, which is a 110 amp leisure battery. That is just a special offer during the handover. And then got your mains power lead coming into the side of the caravan, and that is connected to the mains power on site. And also in that locker you have your motor mover power switch. Motor mover and the wheel nuts, will demonstrate the motor mover to you while you're here on site, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts so you can see they've been tightened correctly. Down the side of the caravan you have your two grey waste pipes. The two grey waste pipes are simply there to allow the waste water out of the caravan. So you put two bits of grey pipe in and they'll drop down inside your waste master. So like I said, when you are using the water system, it drains outside of the caravan. That is not your toilet waste. The toilet waste is in a separate locker back here, which I'm going to show you in a second. You then got your toilet flush tank. The toilet flush tank takes 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of a pink fluid prior to use. And that'll be your flush system. Then at the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette, which you release by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away, and the grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. On the back of the cassette you've got your orange pressure relief button, so when you are tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You'll need to put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to using the toilets. On the back of the caravan, on either side, we'll just put one down at the moment for the purpose of doing a video. But you've got two wind down legs at the back of the van again, and again they are just there for stabilising the caravan, not lifting the caravan. Coming down the door side of the van, you've got your two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are simply there to allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. Then got a 3-pin socket on the side of the caravan, so if you want to have power going out to your awning, you can do. So once you've got the power inside the van and you've got a 240 connection, you can have an outdoor fridge, for instance, or outdoor lights. In here is your outside telly point, so when you open that up there's a TV bracket that comes out. You've got your underbed storage at the front of the caravan, and your barbecue gas point, and the last of your wind down legs. As you can see, we're now on the inside of the caravan. You can probably hear the radio playing away, so I'm just going to turn that off for now while we do the handover video, when I can find it. So in the cupboard just here, to turn the radio off, you'll simply press and hold the source button in the middle at the bottom, and that is the same to turn it on. First thing you need to do is come underneath the seat on the front right hand side, and underneath here you'll find your 240 trip switches, just underneath this panel. Little tip for you, if you're not sure if you've got power coming to the van from the site you're on when you connect to mains, if you hit the test switch and it trips down as it's just done, that will indicate you've got mains power coming into the caravan. If it doesn't trip when you hit that test switch, then it means there is no power coming from outside of the caravan. You've got a master shutdown switch, so you can hit that switch and it'll pop up, and that'll isolate all of the power inside the caravan. And then you have your 12 volt fuses on the bottom left hand side here, which is for the 12 volt lighting, etc. And I'll show you where a list of those are in a moment. Then got reverse polarity for when you're in some European countries, your battery charger for the caravan, and your heating and hot water main power switch. Do advise you leave these two on, and as soon as you've got power on there, these two will come back on automatically. As I said, you have got a list of what each of the fuses is for on board the caravan. So that's your 12-volt fuses just there, and that's your 240 trip switches, and that is just in the cabinet where you'd find your water drain down valve also. So while we're talking about the water drain down valve, you'll need to have that parallel with the floor to fill the water system up on board the caravan. That valve is upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat. All of the water on the system on board the van will drain out back onto the floor underneath. So if that's parallel with the floor, you can fill the system up and you're good to go. Now we've got all the power turned on in the locker and we've got the drain down valve shut, we're going to come over to the main control panel. Got your master power here on the bottom right hand side. So you've got power off and power on. You've got your interior, your external light, sorry, your awning light. You've got your front dimming lights on this switch just here. And then you've got your roof lights for inside of the caravan on the button just here. As you can hear, every time you turn the power off and turn it back on, the radio will automatically come on. So again, I'm just going to turn that off. On the bottom right hand side of this control panel, you've got your water pump switch, which I'll come back to in a moment. And at the bottom here, you'll see it says dimming level. So when you've got your dimming lights on, you can actually adjust the brightness of those with the arrow pointing to the left between 5 and 100%. So to fill the water system up, we've got the drain down valve shut underneath the seat. We're going to open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. You're actually going to see that I've already filled it. But normally when you first turn the caravan on, you're going to need to fill the system up. So we're going to hit the water pump switch. The water pump will start running. And once we have water, you will notice that it bleeps for a moment saying the water level is low until it builds up enough pressure. Or you can turn it off by pressing the left arrow. So once the water system's full, we're going to shut all of the taps back off. To start with, when you fill the system, it is going to spit and splatter slightly like it does with your household water when the water has been turned off for any amount of time. But now the system's full, we can actually start warming up the water on board the caravan. So to the left of the main control panel for the caravan, you'll find the Alde control panel itself. You've got power on and off for this control panel at the bottom left hand side. We do advise before you shut the main control panel off that you do turn this off also. On the home screen here, you've got an indicator to say we've got mains power coming into the caravan, and below that we've got the current room temperature. I'm going to hit menu and it's going to take us into the options for the heating and hot water. So you've got minus and plus for your room temperature. That goes all the way up to 30 degrees. Below that you've got your water temperature, so you've got water on when this bar's halfway up, and then you've got water boost when it is completely full. Below that you have your amount of power coming into the caravan. Now if you've caravan before, you may have used an Alde system or a Truma system. If you've used a Truma system before, then it'll actually, it's very similar to your Truma heating switch where it's got the 500, 1000 and 2000 watt options. So here on site we can use a maximum of 1 kilowatt, so we're going to select the 1 kilowatt. However, you can use 2 or 3 kilowatts also of power coming into the caravan, and that is only relevant to your heating and hot water systems, not to any other appliance on board the caravan. Best way of finding out what power you can use for your heating and hot water is by asking the site office when you arrive on site. Bottom left hand side of the screen, you've got your option to run gas. So we hit the gas option just here. If the gas bottle is connected at the front of the van and the gas is turned on, the system will self-ignite. If it fails to ignite, you'll actually have gas fail at the bottom of the screen with 2 exclamation marks at either end. If it does ever do that, we'd advise you turn it off. Come to your hob and get the gas through to the hob because it's generally the last point on the gas system. Come back to your control panel for your Alde heating hot water. Hit the gas option again and it should reignite. You have got some advanced options on this control panel on the bottom right hand side. However, for these we do advise you read the manual, just due to the fact if I took you through them in the video, it'd probably take me around 2 to 3 hours to explain all of the features. Microwave and the electric ring will only work if you've got 2 40-volt mains, and they do work the same as your household appliances essentially. There will be a manual somewhere in the book pack for the microwave itself. Again, the same with the gas. If you've got the gas turned on in the front locker, it works the same as your household oven and grill and hob. Next up, we're going to go through the fridge. Now the fridge, very simple to use. You've got power on and off on the top left hand side. We're going to turn it off. Turn the fridge on, press and hold the power button. Fridge will come on. At the moment, as you can see, we're connected to mains power, and if you're on mains or gas, you can control the fridge temperature on the button on the bottom right hand side. To change the power source you want to use, you can use the arrows here. It will essentially go to the right first. So it's got auto, which means essentially whichever power source it sees first when you connect it to the power on site, it will connect to. You can have it on manual mode as well, so you can select which one you want to use. And that's what we're essentially doing here. So at the moment, as you can see, we're trying to use 12 volt from the car we're towing with. However, the control panel above the door and the one on the fridge is bleeping away at me to let me know there's no 12 volt power source coming to the caravan. That will only work when you connect it to 12 volt on the car itself, and it will only work while you're towing. It will not work off the 12 volt battery on board the caravan. The fridge on gas will self-ignite. If it fails to ignite, it will flash the blue pilot light here. It'll also flash the blue warning light underneath the triangle here with the exclamation mark in. And again, it will also bleep the main control panel above the door. And as we said, we've got 240 mains, which we can go back to. And the 240 mains will just work off the 240 mains power source. So the last thing we go through on this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. Very simple to use. We've already shown you how to fill it from the or told you how to fill it from the outside and where the waste tank is. We've then got our toilet full indicator light. This light will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. You have your electric flush for the toilet, so you press the button in here to allow the toilet to flush. The seat itself turns for your convenience. However, if that toilet seat is turned when you're trying to remove the waste cassette from underneath the caravan, then it will actually lock the toilet waste cassette in place. Below the toilet, you have your toilet waste handle. Again, if this toilet waste handle is open, it will lock that cassette in place again. So you do need to make sure it's shut before you try and remove it. We always advise you have this flap open before you use the loo, just so any waste goes straight into the cassette and it's not sat in the bowl. So this is the Swift Celebration 530. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'd be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.